His dad, Justin, the associate head coach of the Tennessee Volunteers.
Justin Gainey is basically the defensive coordinator of this team.
Great pass inside, a bucket for Kent. Julian.
Now it's Johnson, the skip pass, whipped over to Kaluma. That's a three!
And you got to finish that. Don't worry about getting it blocked.
Jones missed a layup on the other end.
Numbers. Yes, sir, right there.
1 point game. Trey Johnson things out late in the year if things break correctly.
And when those transfer portal guys are hurt along the way, it makes it that much more difficult. Oh, my goodness.
Down to 3. Horns have led by as many as 11 in the half. Trey Johnson contested 3, and he protect the resume.
Without question, Texas really wants to get off to a fast start here tonight, and they want to do it by aggressive defense and really attacking offensively.
Horns getting some much-needed rest over the course of this week after the home upset against Kentucky last Saturday afternoon in Austin. Touch for Trey Johnson with 10 to shoot.
Larry is in the game as the point guard, so he can do exactly what he's doing, making baskets easy and everything. He's a great teammate.
That ball hit every inch of the rim before it dropped. Lead at 13. Larry the lob on Yema, back on the floor, dumps it down.
Not executing your offense really makes everything work.
Maury Thomas going to post up Pope and was blocked by Shedrick with the help side defense.
But that's not his game. He's played really well this game in distributing and everything, but that's really not his game.
All right, so here come the
jump shot in a while, and they'll never forget the out-of-bounds play against LSU where he threw it in.
Kaluma, the answer. Found its leading scorer. And a turnover. Larry. Tremont Mark lays it in.
Shedrick, though, just a very consistent 7-7 guy right now in league play at 25 minutes a game.
Corner 3 finds the bottom.
Guys for this Commodore squad.
Texas has Alabama and Kentucky next week, and then they get a bye.
Yeah.
I think this team could really use one. They're a little dinged up right now.
One of the more impressive parts of this Arkansas team, when I was talking to Cal over the weekend, he said despite all the adversity coming into that game at Rupp Arena with just one conference win, these guys could have come apart at the seams, and they didn't. And I was telling you guys this morning, between today's Arkansas shoot-around, Saturday's Arkansas shoot-around, it was some of the loosest I've seen a Coach Cal and Coach Cal team getting ready for a game despite what the record looks like. So for Arkansas,
Some game where you have a team that can go on scoring droughts, you just got to stick with it.
Wagner pinned by Shedrick. He had blown right by Johnson, but picked up by his teammate. Transition 3. Got it! Trey Johnson.
The 18 in the first half.
Kaluma takes it all the way. Whoa! Mess saves it off the window.
Johnson will be the trigger man. From the corner. Into the waiting hands of Julian Larry. Back up top for a wide open Shedrick 3. And Alabama, you don't see a whole lot of strength coaches that play D1 basketball, but he knows what it takes for it to have an NBA body. And they believe that Johnson, in addition to that great shot and silky smooth skill set, he's got an NBA body and he's only going to get stronger. Wiener and a great Rodney Terry talked about right off the jump. Oh my goodness. Alley-oop. And there is a new.
He waves them off or it leads to a double team. That time he attacks it, leads to an open dunk.
Arthur Kaluma back in action, missed the A&M game with a knee injury, had a calf injury the week before against Florida. And he's back in the starting lineup tonight. Mark, size advantage, gives it up. Larry, guarded by Padula. Kaluma lets it fly and cashes it in.
A couple times when he has gotten right into the heart of the defense, but it's a good look for the Rebels.
Rebels have made 4 of 10 from deep. Padula is a perfect 3 for 3. Julian Larry gets to the paint. Here's Pryor. Tough 2. This is a tough 2 team. Murray. Defended by Larry. Here come the Longhorns the other way. Lob. Oh, and a finish. Corner 3.
Well, that's a big shot by Carter because Texas intentionally did a short closeout there. They're going to dare him to shoot those corner threes just like Washington. Carter makes them pay.
Longhorns slow played after getting it across midcourt. Devon Pryor seen some run here in the first half, 22 in white. Johnson's entry pass was nearly thrown away. Shedrick working on Payne. Shot clock late. Pryor. Back-to-back middies for Texas. He had a calf injury in the Florida game, and that turned into a knee issue. Jason Burge's lead of the season for A&M in any game. Denial inside. Great work by Onyema. They got to push now. They've been coming up against a set defense far too much in this game. Shedrick for 3. Henry Coleman high off the glass. There's Shedrick again, impacting this game for the good for the Horns. Trey Johnson gives it right back to Larry. Nice pass through traffic and efficient. Obaseki fires up the 3, and Texas has the rebound. The Aggies 5 for 17 in the second half. Big possession here. Mark is on the floor, touches it inside. Onyema looking for an open shooter. Larry nearly walked with it. And he finds Onyema, and he's fouled. Whittled to 1. Here's Trey Johnson. Got a 30-point game going. Guarded by Zurich Phelps. Shot clock is off. He gets a screen from Shedrick, but ignores it. Gives it up to Larry. Clock is at 7. Here's Mark. Had a game winner last year against them. Oh, going in!
And the athletic trainer did not want to be checked out. He is an intense young man, just a freshman, but one of the top stars in the game. Grill almost stole that off the inbound. Still plenty of time here for Julian Larry. Longhorns still looking for the first field goal of the night. Shedrick got it.
Because Auburn's so deep, but Mark Sears off of Alabama, and they're going to struggle. That's why Missouri struggled last year.
Kaluma has the rock now to Larry to set up the Texas offense. 3 seconds difference on the clock. It's a Mizzou team that has had double-digit leads at the half and 13. Not gonna happen here. Don't have that one dude that affects shots. It makes you think twice before you throw it down like Bates just did. He thought he'd be doing that at the Irwin Center and then inside Moody when he signed with Shaka Smart, this Texas team. Shaka Smart went to Marquette. Tamar went to Indiana. Now a second season at Mizzou. You knew this was an emotional trip for him. And he has been a factor. Johnson has not with his outside shot. 6 seconds on the shot clock. The no-look inside. And wow, Jason.
It was only 432 feet above sea level. Another town up the hill was 450.
So they named the town, but it's not exactly accurate, but we stick with it.
Yeah, it's all marketing.
It's a great story. Never let facts get in the way of a great story.
Hey, if it says it on the water tower, it must be true. Shot clock is 7.
Hey, it's like John Deere Green.
That's right. Onyema, nifty move down the lane for the big fella.
With Kaluma, 49% from deep on the year.
McGee inside was blocked by Kaluma.
McGee had some success in the Georgia game that way.
Julian Larry on the floor for the first time. Kaluma with the left-handed finish. That'll change tonight. Duke Miles got caught.
Miles got frustrated. The offense was disorganized.
OU a great job to get back defensively. Larry, Shedrick dumped it off beautifully.
It was like they're expecting Shedrick to get every rebound. Rodney Terry talked about that at shoot-around today. He said it's got to be all 5 to the defensive glass.
Pope a quick trigger, rolls it in, and
transition against Chaz Lanier. So they're running a lot of half-court sets, and they like to share the ball and swing it side to side. So that's part of it. I don't think it's necessarily a negative.
They have 3 assists and 3 buckets so far today. The turnovers have been an issue here early on. 4 already for Tennessee.
Boy, this is a big lineup for Texas, one we hadn't seen a ton of as Kent comes in at the 3.
Yeah, and Ziegler's trying to guard the 6'7" Kaluma. Went off for a career high last game. Ziegler's got to be matched up with Larry. Baseline jumper good. And we're seeing so much parity in this league this year. Lanier, floater no good. Here comes Texas, trailing by 2, looking for the tie or the lead. Mark, off the glass and in. Have a chance in an old-fashioned 3-point play.
To lose, and then all of a sudden you got something to lose towards the end.
Good luck, but another miss at the rim.
A healthy Cade Phillips doesn't miss that. He's really struggling with that shoulder.
Trey Johnson for 3. There's Durant's mural. Step back. Oh, this guy is a blast.
White. Last March, he exploded as a 3rd scorer for them when you had Boots Radford and Wade Taylor. He has not found his rhythm yet this season.
Kendall Weaver on the floor for Texas. His sister played basketball here at A&M. Tremont Mark gets caught up. And now Larry, part of that sensational Indiana State team last year that just missed out on the big dance. Mark gives it up. Shot clock at 8. An extra pass. Here's Mark. His career high is 35. Came against A&M last year in Fayetteville. He hit
the open man. They've got 5 assists on 6 made baskets. That's what you have to do. Now 6 of 7 against Ding some. He was grimacing sort of out of frustration. He's returning as we speak. As you can see at the top of your screen. Let's see if they have him on a bike or if they stretched him out. When he'll return.
Aggies with the trap. Longhorns solve it.
I don't know that Texas has taken a shot in the paint in the second half. They got to find a way to not settle.
Dumps it inside. Hefner commits the foul. And there you go.
We need those 2 guards.
Julian Larry on the dribble to Tremont Mark. The 2-3 matchup zone. Shooting over the 3-pointer. Pope, it's good. Jordan's hit it in to score. Rodney Terry really upset about that. The Longhorns just kind of lulled themselves into throwing the ball away. Now, trying to get the last shot of the half. Here's Julian Larry driving down inside on Yema for the pointer up, and that one's good. Knocked down by Micah Thomas, his second made 3 of the afternoon.
Well, he knew this team could shoot the ball, but you got to be there on closeouts because they're not going to quit shooting those threes.
56-31 Longhorns. Larry out front to Jason Kent. 12-12 to go. Here's Weaver. Left side pass broken up. Kendall got it back. Now to Larry again with 8 on the shot clock. Julian on a drive past Redmond in the paint. Dumped it underneath into Jason Kent for the flush. The Vaqueros, the UT Rio Grande Valley. It's a 3 o'clock tip off here at Moodini. Listeners can hear it in Austin on 103.1 FM, Austin's 80 station, and on the Texas Longhorns app and nationally on Sirius XM satellite radio channel 84.
Well-coached team that is fun to watch.
Here's Julian Larry down with 3 to shoot in the mark in the paint. Tremont puts it home.
Good patience.
16 foul out front to Cody. To Kent. Jason. 3-pointer up. It's good. Jason Kent.
Because he's really can shoot the ball on the perimeter or attack on at the rim.
Yeah, he scored 10 points against Pine Bluff on 4 of 5 from the field. Here's Larry with it. Dribbles left side. Bounce pass on Yema. Couple of dribbles and just slams it home. Texas led 16-0 in this one. We're inside of 6.5 minutes to go. Larry out top to Shedrick. Back to Julian Larry. Pope off a screen. Gets deep. Lays it up and in.
Getting a 2-on-1 situation or a 3-on-2 and getting an advantage going to the rim.
55-43, 14-15 to go in the second half. Onyema holds it up to Cody. Back to Larry. Into the corner, Onyema back to the basket. Dribbles in, draws the double team. Now back to Larry, ball tipped. Larry will pick it up in the backcourt with the shot clock at 8 inside of 14 minutes. Shot clock at 5. Larry into traffic, skips it to Cody. Gets the shot up and gets it to roll in. New Orleans back in that zone. They float it over the top to Pope. Back to Julian Larry, playing catch, back to Pope. He's going to shoot another three. Knocks down another three. Here comes White right down the middle, retreats. 4:40 to go. Now wants to attack, throws it away. Larry's got numbers, hands it to Pope, floats it to Pryor. Pryor has to dribble it through the lane and hands it back to Larry, so Pope takes the three. Oh no, he hit another one! Longhorns up 92-50, steal by Larry. He's got Shedrick ahead, floats it up, hammers it down.
Spot when they just threw us a ball. We've got to get a little better spacing.
True.
6 minutes gone here in the opening half.
Yeah, this is a very interesting zone. It's has the look of a 3-2 zone, but
they wouldn't dare. Open look right in front of Rodney Terry onto the hand of Caleb Jones, but off the mark. Weaver driving baseline bucket for the same ball game and see really if it can all click.
yeah, so far they've done a good job. I haven't seen any signs of guys not buying into their roles. Pryor knocked down a three. Something coach is looking for when he's scouting.
That was the Serge Jabari Bowl the other day between New Mexico State and Texas.
Absolutely.
Serge Jabari in the NBA G League these days. Pope, no look pass, chopped it down to Larry. Shedrick straight away with the three-point stroke from the big man.
Quick three out of transition, but the ball was called a swing action.
Yeah, no white smoke on that one. Reinhardt with the miss as well. Larry to Pope. Got it this time. They just had a little walkthrough today. Got in their final practice yesterday. Another turnover.
What a pass.
Onyema!
Introduce your guys to as much as you can before so they're not blindsided when it comes to league play, and very much so when it comes to the NCAA tournament.
And both these rosters, significant turnover from last year. UAPB losing their two all-SWAC performers. Kaluma!
Easy pickings.
Kaluma, 5 rebounds to go with his 13 points. Lob to Weaver. Preston's just glad he's not on the wrong end of a poster like that, as he's always banging with the bigs in practice. Oh, a sweet stroke from Jordan Pope. That might just be their second turnover of the half.
Texas is already a little more comfortable against this zone.
Cody. Boy, could not do any wrong in the first half. Buga. Open look from the wing in front of his teammates on the bench today for Pryor. And a one-handed swat by Cody with the denial. Transition rewarding the big man on the other end.
We got a stash sighting.
Where they've been hiding the stash?
I don't know.
Cody, get out of here.
Rim is more than just dribbling it, trying to beat your opponent off the dribble. Passing is probably the most efficient part of basketball.
Robert Carpenter, the Aggies' leading scorer, misfires from 3. Trey Johnson buries the 3.
Yeah, no coach wants to look ahead, right? And you got to take it one game at a time, but at the same time, you also see what's ahead. And the SEC, as I said before, is not going to do you any favors. You know, the open up league play with those 5 opponents that they'll face is, it's got to be one of the toughest openings in the country.
I think Joe Lenardi has a nice pass. Larry to
Coach Terry would preach to his guys, and you know, you can't be intimidated by it. You got to embrace it and be ready to go in there and play.
I mean, there's no break. You know, maybe a few weeks ago, you see Missouri is here, January 21st. You thought, well, maybe that'd be a little easier, and maybe it will be. But again, Missouri at home, whipping #1 Kansas just a few days ago. Julian Larry, second uniform. So 102 remaining. Texas wrapping up their 8th win of the season. Devon Pryor.
That strength is what made that play. There's the wide pin for Johnson.
Diarra back on Johnson. The floater this time. He is the
Duke playing right now. A surprise for the Auburn and Alabama teams. Last night, I'm told that when each team returned to their hotel from their respective shoot-arounds, they were surprised to show up at the same hotel as the other. So the rivals, it's the Iron Bowl of hotels. They show up and they're sharing the same space.
Fighting for conference room space.
That's right.
Both of those teams are absolutely outstanding. How about Jedi Broom and his start to the season? Great look.
Five straight doubles. That's a bucket for Shelly Hatfield. There comes the double. Back out to pass. And a save on the baseline by the freshman Trey Johnson. NC State had a unicorn in the post last year, a point center that could distribute unlike anybody. Kennedy downhill. Kendall Lee.
Timeout, it tells you something.
Yeah.
No, not enough on that.
Connell has it turned away. NC State with a turnover. State has given up the lead as Trey Johnson goes back. Third three of the night for Dontrell Styles.
Last year he shot 37% at Georgetown, and Kevin Keats would take that all year long.
Larry behind the screen from Shedrick.
Got 4 guys on one side of the floor.
Shot clock's at 6. Larry finally gives it up. Pope for 3. He used every bit.
Well, Julian Larry just came in the game for Texas and promptly turned it over. And Delaware State returns the favor. Johnson, Texas with numbers, give and go. Trey Johnson and 1.
Right down in the game is Tremont Mark. Now, this young man has a lot of playing under his belt. He can be a difference as well. Those 2 guys on the wing, woo, 2 of the best in the nation.
Yeah, Mark, number 12 for Texas, making his Moody Center debut. Missed a few games with an ankle injury. Meanwhile, it's Kaluma.
Communication a little bit more on their zone. Coach Waterman talked about having the guys on the backside of the zone that could really communicate, and you see them pointing, communicating. Can they slow Texas down a bit?
You may have to take the headband off. Texas hasn't hit a field goal in 4.5 minutes.
Oh, whoa. Wait a minute. I put it back on now, so maybe this will open up something. Here we go. Let's see.
I think you jinxed him. Kaluma, never mind.
Break glass. Trey Johnson, man, you're very talkative, and that is fine and all, but continue to play the game. Don't lose your head, and things will be fine.
3-on-1 for Texas. Trey Johnson.
Nice find by Simpson. Wide open miss by Brown. Here's Johnson. The bump from Simpson. Over to Larry. Kaluma again. And Kaluma with it.
Came down hard. Happy he didn't hit his head or anything that could hurt him.
Fleming playing one-man volleyball, and there's Weaver to get it.
Next possession, he's right back in there like nothing ever happened.
Yep. Great basketball family. Sister Kendall Carter gets it from Larry. Sari.
There you go.
Makes it 3. First 2-point try of the game, and Onyema was there to go straight up and take it away. Julian Larry, Indiana State transfer, down low to tuck that.
Well, your team's shooting 25% from the three-point line throughout the course of the season. I know you'll get your rhythm back, but when 65-70% of the shots you're taking here in the first half, in the opening 10 minutes of the game, are from the three-point line, you got to figure out other ways to attack the rim.
Larry from Kaluma, out for Mark, good look 3, got it. 2.
Again, the senior in his first year at Texas. Everything just slowing down around him, no doubt. The rebound out to Julian Larry. Trey Johnson with the triple. 1 point at halftime of his ball game today. Has he done anything since then?
Well, he's a microwave. He can get it going instantly, and he came out and showed that
He was 0 for 2 in the first half. He was 5 of
shots on the backside of defenses.
That's Darian Salary with the mid-range jumper that falls. Just his second field goal of the season. Underneath the basket, no problem. Jamie Vince.
And the 8 hadn't been worn.
Pryor felt the contact, stepped back. They're going to say he was stripped loose. So regained possession, no travel call. Inside the final minute here at Moody Center. Larry drops it down. Third dunk.
At Wichita State, and even before that, he was a scout for the Philadelphia 76ers. So Scott Spinelli has been around.
He's from Massachusetts, but says he's gotten used to Chicago deep dish pizza. Double on Larry. Triple for a moment. And able to find Kaluma around the rim. Bucket falls.
Let Trey Johnson have an open look. He gets his shot off so quick that is easier said than done.
Here comes Larry again with the lead 45. They left Johnson open. He buries another one.
Why not?
Suit because of Trey Johnson's example.
Well, you just proved to us why he is so great. He's a great player and he works hard.
Devon Pryor to the rim. His first point. Weaver got it taken away by Sunderland. Vincent alter the shot by Delancey.
Well, Weaver continuing his great hustle as he always does. So impressive. That vertical jump of his just amazes me.
Approaching 8 minutes remaining. Kent left open for the corner three. Yes.
How about that? Not
First of 3 straight home games for Texas before they take on Syracuse in a couple of weeks in Brooklyn. Kent for 3, yes. That is his first. HCU is much different than most teams in Division I as Trey Johnson lays it in.
And so, you know, I think that'll make everyone's lives a little bit easier.
20 on the shot clock, 23 to go in the half. Trey Johnson off and inbounds the 3.
Chip on their shoulders, you know. They were picked to finish 8th in the Big Ten. They feel like they have, as you see, Trey Johnson.
Ichi Johnson working against Weaver to the cup, and Weaver got a fingertip on it. Up the floor, Larry Johnson transition 3, and he buries it. Gets the Buckeyes their first points in 4.5 minutes. And we hit the final 2 minutes here before halftime. Texas Longhorns, number 19 team in the country. Larry gets it to Johnson. He'll fire and buries another 3. Let's check in with Taylor.
I like him being my teammate. Thanks, Spira. I was checking into the Texas huddle. He said, let's make this a 2-possession game right now. Coach Terry saying we are in.
Those have been contested 3s.
And you think of Trey Johnson hitting 5 of those 3s.